The RV vent fan, it's a staple in the RV. So efficient and effective, but if it's making a lot of noise, it's just an unusable annoyance. So today I'm gonna show you how to silence your RV vent fan. Now to start off, this vent fan is our favorite vent fan. We swapped out the original vent that was in here for this one because it is usually so quiet. The problem that this one has acquired is it's started to squeak. A squeak may not sound that bad in the beginning, but when you're trying to sleep and you got that squeak just continually chirping in the background, it's just about impossible to sleep. So first off, we're gonna take off the cover. Super easy to do. The screen comes down. And to take the fan blades off, I just use a 5/32 Allen wrench to release that set screw, and then the blades of the fan come down. So you can even wash the blades if that's easier than just vacuuming them off and get all that dust and junk off of them. Next, we wanna get to the motor. So we're gonna loosen up these two nuts at the bottom. There's washers behind there, so don't lose the nuts and the washers. And then we can pull the motor down. The last time I cleaned this, I did it up in the air, but this time to make it easier to show you, I'm gonna cut the wires so I can bring it down onto the tabletop. So on the top of the motor, we have two screws. Those go all the way through, so we wanna loosen those and pull those out. Then we can set those aside. On the other side, we have a snap ring that we can take off of the shaft, and then we can remove this end cap. And when you look on there, you can see this is the stuff that we're battling against. We need to get all that clean. All that buildup we need to get off. Word of warning here, this part is really important. We want to try and hold everything together. We don't want everything to go flying when we take off this center section. We don't want to lose any pieces and have things come apart. Again, we can see the buildup inside of this center section here that we need to clean up. Now, before we take any more of the internals apart, we need to pay attention to the brushes on the inside. They have these little tabs that you can take and you can secure those so that the brushes aren't going to get pushed out by the springs. Then we can finish disassembling the motor and you can just see more of that buildup everywhere. So my strategy here is just to take it outside and clean each of these individually with an air compressor. Use that compressed air to get rid of all this buildup that is on there that's causing this thing to squeak. I thought about replacing the bearings, but the bearings aren't our problem. It's all this buildup that's inside of this motor. So getting all this stuff off of these components is what's going to silence our fan for us. If you're feeling discouraged because this is deeper than you wanted to dive, but you still want to silence your fan, I do have two tips that you can try out, but let's finish getting this put back together. Again, making sure that our brushes are in that clipped position so that they're not going to come apart. We can start to put our motor back together. And I have to be honest with you, this is the hardest part of the whole thing, trying to get it to go back together without everything coming apart. Unclip those brushes so they're free to move. And then this might take a few tries of putting that centerpiece over there without the magnet sticking to the wall. It's just hard to hold everything together as you assemble the motor together. But once you do, you can put the other end cap back on, and then we can put that snap ring back on the shaft. And then we're going to put those bolts back through the housing of this motor and tighten everything down. And then we can see if it fixed the squeak inside of the motor. So we're gonna take the motor and we're gonna mount it back in its place. I need to connect my electrical back up, connecting the wires back together, and then I can secure the motor down by tightening up those nuts at the bottom. And then the fan blades slide back on. We set the set screw, and then we put the screen cover over that, completing the project. Now, it used to squeak the worst on the lowest setting, so putting it on that, you can hear that it's not squeaking anymore. So mission accomplished. But if that was too deep of a dive, there are a couple other options and something to note. Number one, you can just replace the motor. You don't have to take the whole thing apart. They are rather expensive, but I do know that some people that had squeaking fans within the warranty time of the MAXXFan did get those replaced. So they'd send out a new motor, you swap it out. That's the easy part. You don't have to take the entire motor apart. The other thing is, I did read that oftentimes when you get a new fan, to turn it on for 10 to 24 hours on high and kind of let everything seat in there. And for some reason, that's supposed to allow it to not squeak. And so you have a higher success rate of having a silent fan. So So those are two things you can try out. One's free and one's kind of expensive replacing the motor unless it's under warranty. So if you're curious why this is our favorite fan over the other fans that we have tried, even though I've had to take this apart a couple of times to get rid of that squeaking, you can check out our comparison video where we compared multiple fans side by side and why this one for us came out on top. But anyways, I think that's gonna do it for today. I hope this information helps you out, seeing what it takes to get rid of the squeaking inside of the MAXXFan. So as always, if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will. See you next video. Take care.